camera off. I'll take the camera off when I'm starting to go through it. All right. I'll give everyone half a second. I'll go shut my door. Oh, it's already recording. Sweet. Let me go shut my door, and then we'll be on. All right. What is up? A couple more people just jumped on. Right on. All right. So we are, or I am specifically going to be running this meeting specifically about your KPIs. A lot of people want to know, I know we have given everyone Sean's worksheets. If you do not have them, they are in the Facebook group, okay? So the ones I'm going to be working off are Sean's worksheets. And so we're going to play around with them, and we're going to show you exactly how to use them and what's the importance of knowing your KPIs. Because if you're just spending marketing, whether it's on direct mail, whether it's on PPC, it doesn't matter. You need to track the results you're getting, right? Even all the way up to if you're cold calling, how many calls are you making? If you're door knocking, how many doors are you hitting? Because you need to know how much effort you need to be putting in. So I know a lot of you know this. I know you've heard us talk over and over about it. And so we wanted to put together this recording for you, being a part of our elite group, and some of you a part of our billionaire group, so that you guys can actually utilize these effectively. Again, they are going to be in the Facebook mastermind group that we have for all of you guys. For whatever reason, if you are not a part of that group, then make sure to be a part of that. Get with Rita, get with Andrea. We can make sure that you guys are all settled in there. A lot of what we do and a lot of the files we post and direct mail, or even these spreadsheets that we are going to be going into, are already in the group under files. So again, very simple. Would love to just get through this. This is not overly complicated. It's pretty basic in terms of it does all the math for you. Right now, I've actually taken a lot of the concepts of these. I've made my own spreadsheet, which you are more than welcome to do. It's just something that our team has a little bit better understanding with. But this is going to be very easy for you guys to follow along. So if there's any questions, I will answer them at the end so we can kind of get through the meat of this, and then I'll open it up for Q&A if you have any. And again, if you don't have these, they are in the Facebook group. So I'm going to take myself off screen, and I will just show right on. All right, so this is just let me know that you can see the spreadsheet only, and there's no technical difficulties going on. There's nothing worse than me starting to ramble on about something no one can see. So make sure you can see the screen. Just let me know, yeah, I got it. Then we will get started. Cool. All right. I am going to enlarge this. Now, if you are asking questions, I'm not going to pay attention to the side. I'm just going to be looking at the spreadsheet itself, okay? So as you can see, we go through quarters. This is the revenue matrix, okay? Now, there are 3 tabs, if you can see it. This is Sean's office. This is how he has broken down his commission pay and all of the people in his organization, okay? Now, this number is $2 million, but you'll start to see all of the yellow pieces is where you're going to be changing the numbers, right? That's where you're really going to be focusing on. The green and red over here starts to show you what kind of return are you actually getting on your investment, okay? Now, what I did for my actual company is our business is set up just slightly different, right? And there's no right or wrong. We just pay our guys a little bit differently, right? So if you look here, you have, Raphael is a salesperson. For him, he makes 10% commission. If he self-generates a deal, he gets 50%. Here are all the self-generated deals and their commission structure. So you can see that here. Now, what I did for our business is I have something similar, but the breakdowns are a little different, right? So the commission percentages are going to be different. That is all I did here. Now, the middle tab is for the solopreneurs. So most of you do have a company, you do have acquisition teams, you have disposition teams, you have other people in your business. It is not just you. But if maybe you just fired your whole team, maybe they just left, whatever the case may be, this is a very, very simplified version because there's no commission that comes out, and you can really run the numbers quite easily. So I'm going to start with this tab because it's a very good way for you to understand the goals that you want to be hitting, right? So let's say you want to do $1 million this year. That's 100,000. That doesn't work. That's 10 million. We're almost there. Work with me here. Boom. All right, $1 million in gross revenue. And so as you can see, it starts to do some of the math as you saw the formulas changed. So how many self-generated deals do you need to do, right? How many JV deals do you need to do? How many referral deals do you need to do? And then you just come down here and you say average profit per deal. Well, ours is 14,571 right now. Leads per contract, we're right about 18. Boom. So it starts to automatically do the math for you. Now, cost per lead, right? This is done very simply by understanding how much you're spending and how many leads are coming in, okay? So to do $1 million, doing none of these, let's just use, I'm not doing any self-generated, I'm not doing any JV deals. As you can see, the number starts to change, right? Because these are all free. This is free. This is cost per deal. So 18 deals, your weekly revenue needs to be $20,800. Okay, follow me? These numbers are formalized, right? So right here, I'm looking at E8 times E21. And so if you go to E8, annual deals needed, 69. Weekly deals needed, 1.4 a week, right? Your quarterly goal will be 17. Weekly leads needed is 26 leads, okay? Projected budget is going to be E10, which is here, leads needed, divided by E22. E22 is down here, lead per contract. So you're looking at spending roughly $7,700 per week to get that number. Now this is actually pretty accurate, right? I mean, the reason why it was built is to make sure that we understand our numbers, right? Because we're spending, what are we spending? We're spending roughly $40,000 a month. So we're a little over that, but we're going to come in higher than this. But as you can see, you're going to look at what kind of marketing budget you need for the year. And then you can do it quarterly, and then you can actually type in the actual numbers that you got. Now this will not formalize anything from your ROI or your net expenses. So if you look down here at 23, 24, 25, and 26, G and H, now you're starting to understand what kind of return on your investment are you making. If I give someone $370,000 annually for a market budget, am I okay bringing in $1 million? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm still making 170% on my money. My net revenue is going to be 627 minus all of my expenses, right? It's going to be gross minus all my expenses brings me down to 629. Now, what if you just simply do this? What if you just simply say, it takes me 29, let's say it takes you 30 leads to get one deal, okay? Watch the numbers change. Totally different, right? Totally different. Now, that's how simple the math really is. So if you're seeing a conversion issue, if you're not getting as many deals per lead, which is simply is looking at this, right? We're 18, now watch the numbers, much better. So now you're dealing with a conversion issue. That's all that is, okay? Let's say you can get your marketing leads down to $200 a lead. Way better still, okay? So that turns into a conversion issue and a cost per lead issue. The way you do a cost per lead is how much revenue divided by how many leads are coming in, right? It's cost per lead. Very, very simple. So again, this is your basic KPI tracker. This is for the solopreneur. This is for someone who doesn't have a team to pay out. right? Now, if you want to make more, let's say you want to make $800,000 or 1.2. Look at those numbers. All of a sudden, I just went up to a 305% return on investment. My net revenue is $900,000. I will give anybody $296,000 in marketing to make $900,000. You can start to really see your business laid out, right? So now let's jump into Sean's. Again, he just pays his guys a little bit different. He actually has payroll. There are some other fixed costs that he has in there. So again, you're only working with your yellow numbers, right? Gross profit per deal for zero cost. Are you guys doing any JV deals? Are you doing any self-generated MLS deals? Are you doing any referrals? If you aren't, then you just start to go down here, and you can see these numbers change drastically, right? So there's zero. Much different all of a sudden, right? Now, gross profit per deal, there we go. Leads per contract, again, I said I'm about 18. Cost per deal, I'm closer to like 300. I think it's like 291. Right? So you can see how these numbers change pretty drastically. Now, what if I only want $1 million here? Not a great return on my investment, right? Not a great return on my investment. Now, some of this is because the cost per deal is already done for you, right? Net profit per deal. Now, the reason why he has a net profit per deal is he's actually subtracting the cost per deal, right, from the actual gross profit. Then his team gets paid off the net profit per deal, okay? So his team gets paid off the net profit per deal right here, right? So he gets, Brandon gets E25 times E8, which is 63 times 5. So his annual income based around this many deals will be $32,000 commission, plus I know Brandon makes $3,000 a month, right? So is Brandon going to be awfully excited to make $72,000 a year? So no, he is not. So what do we need to change here, right? Do we need to get a couple self-generated deals in here? Of course, right? We need to get a couple self-generated deals in here. Let's get, let's try to make a self-generated deal make us $10,000. So things start to change, right? Brandon's salary is $36,000 a year. Brandon's commission are $32,000, right? So you start to be able to change how much you're actually making, right? Again, I pay my guys different. So what he's done is he's brought it all the way down. He has Raphael, his sales guy. He has Dana Marie, who does appointment setting. He has a lead manager. He has Jason, which is another sales guy. And then he has total and fixed costs, right? So he's learned based around the fixed costs what his business is. So you can play with that, right? For me, if you look here, 10% of other quarterly gross, 10% above quarterly gross. So this is his business. We broke it down a little bit differently based around my business, okay? I don't have a salary. People get paid straight commission, okay? So to do $2 million, let's say we get, let's just say we do one JV deal a year, 5.5, or I'm sorry, a month. Self-generated revenue should be E14 times E18. Yeah, so that's right. Right, so gross profit per deal is generally 15,000. Leads per contract, we're at 18. Watch the numbers change. So you're looking at all this right here. Cost per deal, that's about right. We're closer to 300. For cost per lead and cost per deal, I think we're under 4, but let's call it 3,900. Okay, so this is our math, right? This is the math that we're looking at. Now, I don't have any of these salaries, right? So this salary here, fixed and other and payroll, this actually gets removed from mine, okay? So I would actually make these 0 because they just simply don't get them, right? So this would be a salary. So she is actually on salary. Dave L is at 3%. But again, you guys need to make this your own, okay? Make sense? And yes, this is being recorded, so we will give this recording to you. So if your follow-up lead manager makes more than 3%, you'd go in here and you'd say whatever it is, right? 5%, 10%. You can change the formula, right? We don't have this locked. Let me just undo what I just did. Boom. Jeez. Okay. That is your revenue matrix. Now let's talk about your KPIs in terms of where's your marketing going and how much are you making. Now let's talk about Sean's scorecard that he built for us. Now he has a newer version. If you have the newer version, awesome. However, I actually find it to be a little bit more complicated. I'll show you both, but it's a lot more intense in terms of the graphs he has. And I actually like to try to keep it a little bit more simple than what he does. Okay, so we'll give you both if you don't have both, but I'm going to review this one because it's been the one that he and I both basically been using for years. And this is a lot easier in terms of your quarterly goals, right? So your pipeline revenue, again, very, very self-explanatory. 30 days pipeline revenue. I'm going to make $100,000. Weekly revenue for the week, 25,000. Future weekly revenue, it could be 25,000. Closings, number of deals closing last week, 4, right? So I'm just implementing numbers. This is how this works, right? Now you're going to be able to start to look at it over time to see are you progressing or not. Future closings this week for postcards mailed, we did roughly 88,000 postcards. Boom. Number of leads a week that brings in. So we want to have roughly about 30, well, we do 88,000 for the month. So let's see, Google is going to be 0. Direct mail will be roughly 150, roughly 100, let's just use 150 for the month. Now, does that mean phone calls? No. So I'm using 150 real leads that are really my leads for that, right? So again, now you're going to be able to start to fill in the weeks, but this is what you want your goal to be for the month of January. Actually, for the quarter, you'd actually multiply it times 4, right? So this would be all multiplied times 4, and you get to start filling it out per week, okay? Contacts spoken to, let's say 100. Number of appointments made, let's say 65. Contracts accepted, let's say for the quarter, you know, whatever it is, or the month. I guess I was breaking out by month. So let's just say 8. Number of appointments, right? So you guys, again, I could just walk through this, but this is very self-explanatory, and then it starts to be able to do the numbers for you, right? So you can actually fill these in. Total weekly marketing, total leads that came in were, leads for contract are, contract values are, very, very simple, right? And now, as you go through January 5th to January 12th, I spent whatever it is, you know, $25,000 in marketing. Weekly revenue was 29,000. The, you know, future weekly revenue is going to be 48,000. And you start doing this every single week, and you start holding people accountable. So what's nice is he's broken it down with your lead manager, your sales guy, marketing, you know, how many postcards went out, how many contracts, listings, self-generated leads, closing ratio, right? That all happens based around the numbers you're starting to put in here. So guys, again, this isn't rocket science, but Sean's built these spreadsheets for his own business. I have modified some to actually put them on a little bit of a different one, but take this information. Either use the spreadsheets that are already made for you and or create your own. But that's really what you want to know, right? So how many appointments is Nate going to get? He's going to get 8. How many offers is he going to make? He's going to make 6. How many contracts is he going to get? He's going to get, you know, let's hope he has a 50% closing ratio, right? Contracts are going to be $40,000. What is this? Listings going to be 0. 0. Self-generated leads, 0. Right? Contracts and 2 appointments. So you do, how many contracts did you get divided by the appointments you set? Again, another sales guy, JV deals, Chelsea, direct mail, how much was spent. So you take these 2 spreadsheets, guys, and you just work them together. If you want to make one larger spreadsheet for yourself, go for it, right? If you don't know Excel, like I'm not a big Excel person in terms of building it out, putting formulas in and all of that, you can find people on Elance or Upwork or even Fiverr will help you with your spreadsheets. But again, they're already built for you. So that's how you track your KPIs, guys. That's how you know, oh my God, I'm spending too much money, there's not enough leads coming in, or man, I'm overwhelming my guys, their closing ratio isn't high enough, they have too many leads coming in, they're actually dropping balls. Or man, I can spend more money because look at their closing ratio, they're crushing it. I need to spend more money because it's just a matter of bringing in more leads. Fair enough?
Justin Colby, it's Rita.
What's up, Rita?
So to reiterate what you're saying, when we have our meeting, which is coming up here, July 31st, you guys can understand the importance of, if we don't have this snapshot of your business, it's going to be really hard for all of your fellow members to give you that advice and those nuggets that you want to take away from from this meeting. So that's why we held this call. But we do have a defining question, which I appreciate. Parker's asking, like, when you say leads, are you defining your leads as all motivated, or are you using a scale of lead, like motivated, 1 to 5?
Yeah. So the easy answer is, if they do not say F you, take me off your list, then they are a real lead. So right now, we're getting roughly 41% of our calls back from our marketing are real leads, which means 59% are not real leads. They're FUs, take me off your list. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense to you, Parker. So there's not a 1 to 5 scale. Everyone's a lead that does not say FU, take me off your list. Everything else is considered a lead. You would be shocked how many deals we get from someone just calling in to say, hey, just curious to know a number. I don't know if I'm really willing to sell. They go into a follow-up and we get the deal, right? So that's why I do that. Now, Rita, I think
also years later you get deals, which is
years later. Like this year, we closed a deal that we've been working for 2 years straight. 2 years, we closed a deal this year. So that nothing should be let go, for sure.
Any more questions, you guys? I know this was a quick call, but
yeah, we just wanted to show you how to do it. But I mean, that's the importance of it. So now you guys
kind of members that this is our inaugural event. We're really excited for you guys to be there.
Yep.
I don't want you to feel overwhelmed in any way. We want you to be excited and ready to break down your business with your fellow members and with Justin and myself.
So what we'll do is I'll go confirm that these are in the Facebook. They will be if they're not the second. So you guys can go into the Facebook group, download it, pay attention to the Facebook group. We'd love some we'd love to increase our communication in there. I want you guys continuing talking, asking questions, because we're all, we've all been there. We're all going.
Kasi nung anniversary nila, surprise ni Guy doon sa Metro Plaza with flowers, tapos with matching dancing nung
Through
kanta
something
ni
similar, right? So make sure to be very, very active on these.
Yun, kaya nag-viral.
Facebook groups. So they're there for your help, right? So make sure to be active.
Sweet naman. Kasama din naman yung babae. Kung ako yung coach, alam ko galing ng girl.
Make sure to also be looking at the app all the time. Everything that happens
Totoo. Sometimes mawawalan ka man gana gumawa ng kasitan kasi hindi naman fishing.
as far as your hotels, travel plans, dates. Rita is militant on this app. We have, and so download it and look at it all the time. Every piece of information you'll ever need is on that app. Right? So don't make an excuse, I didn't get the email. Even if you didn't get the email, it's on the application. So just go download the app, make that something that you're looking at constantly, because Rita is militant about updating, sending out notifications, and comment. And all that kind of stuff. So between Facebook and that app, you should never not know the plans. What else?
Sir. Thank you. That is all.
All right, Derek. Yeah. Hey, listen. This isn't a overnight thing. You're gonna have to work at tracking your KPIs. You're gonna have to dig into your phone calls. You're gonna have to dig into your Podio accounts and your CRMs. You're gonna have to start to, if you feel like you're not on par, if you feel like you're not, there yet, it takes time. There's no overnight. So when you do get to the Boredom Elite, just be as prepared as you possibly can, right? Say, to the best of my ability right this moment, this is what I believe as a snapshot in time what my KPIs look like. I send out this much marketing, I spend this much money, I get this many leads in, then you have to do that. But it's always something you're tracking. Parker, when my team brings leads in, if they are not saying F you, why are you trying to get as much info as possible so we can import in a Podio? But once they're ranked 1 to 5. I'm being very high, like
So
super
1
motivated time. Very close to value.
I don't think you track
Do
that.
you know? Say what?
You don't track that from what you've told me and what Andrea told me. It's just F you and anyone that's willing to talk to you, you keep.
Correct. Now, in Podio, we have like warm, cold, hot. But that's not, they're all leads, right? So for us, all of those are leads. We're just giving them, how quickly do they want to sell. So that's all we're doing there. So if it's a cold lead and they're just like, oh, well, I'm just kind of thinking about it. My kid graduates college next year. And, once they graduate, we got to figure out really what to do. Well, they're thinking about selling, right? So it's just a matter of me staying in front of them long enough to get the deal. So they're cold, but then they go into a long-term follow-up, and we're calling them at least once every month, if not more, depending upon how the conversation went.
Cool. No, great questions, you guys. You guys excited for end of the month? I'm pumped.
Yo, I'm pumped.
Change the scenery. Just while we have y'all on the phone, which is rare, we have a lot that showed up for this call, which makes me so happy. Menza, I called you yesterday, so yes, I'm calling you out in front of everyone. I need to talk to you, sir. Who else is on here that I'm trying to reach? I think, of course, they didn't show up. Perfect. And then, so next meeting, July 31st through August 4th, and then next meeting, November 13th through November 18th at the Scott Resort, Pimp Resort in Scottsdale. Pretty excited about that. Beautiful
Very
time
cool.
here in Arizona. Can't beat November in Arizona.
You can't. Truth.
So you can mark your calendars, November 13th through the 18th. We'll release the slots after this event ends, and you guys can book yourself for the fall event.
Right on. Right on. All right, guys. That's all I got. That's how you work your KPIs. Again, build your own spreadsheet or use these. These are already built for you. Play around a little bit. They're really, really great spreadsheets. So that's it, man.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll put the recording up in the groups.
Peace.
Okay, that's the end of our video. Thank you for watching.